One Piece. This is One Piece, chapter 1137, Introducing Shamrock. I did mention this in the last time that we covered One Piece, but the cover stories have had some interesting developments go on. There has been a string of kidnappings in Wano, and Yamato, who's on a pilgrimage to deliver the young Don Yasui's sword to his shrine, has come across this problem and is teamed up with Otama, Shinobu, I think, is there, and Hold'em to find out what the hell's going on with all these thieves. And they arrive at this hideout that seems to be Who's hideout, which is very interesting because a lot of Kaido's thugs are seemingly still on the island, and Who's Who. The Toby Roppo could be here in its entirety.
Who's Who? Sorry. See, I read One Piece and I still don't fucking remember.
Who's Who is the guy that Jinbei fought in the Wano battle, the saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, you mean the Triceratops or whatever?
No, that was Sasaki. Who's Who is the one that Jinbei fought, this former CP9 member.
Yeah, he was the guy who had Luffy's fruit of it originally, and then Shanks beat the shit out of him.
And he's the guy
What?
Damn, dude, your memory is crazy.
Someone else had the gum fruit before Luffy?
No,
it was just like in like the fruit itself was just in transit.
The government had possession of the fruit, and Shanks got it in the first place by stealing it from Who's Who's ship.
From that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. But this cover page, the Yamato, Otama, and the rest of them are infiltrating the hideout, and there are these three goons there. I don't know who they are. I don't think they're introduced characters at this point. But that's all we know. And then we continue on to the chapter proper. Luffy and Rodo, Nami, and Zoro have entered the Alrust Castle to find the keys for Loki's cuffs or Loki's chains so they can question him about his motives and the deal that he made with Luffy. Well,
The Loki.
Is that your Loki impression?
Loki pose. Yeah.
But yeah, he goes in there. Rodo says that he's never been in the castle himself, so this is a brand new thing for him. And they notice that the castle is in a bit of dismay here. It's pretty much destroyed. It's overgrown. There's trees everywhere. And Zoro points out this fact, and Rodo explains that Loki is responsible for what happened here. But the king was also strong in his own right. So the battle pretty much destroyed this castle here. And
he fought his dad to the death.
Yeah, it seems so.
Oh.
And they walk in to further into the castle, and they find a giant graveyard, a literal giant graveyard. And we see these giants with horns on their skulls, some of them. And they explained that the largest bones belong to the warriors with the blood of ancient giants. And that's very interesting. I have a comment about that later. But yeah, there are no longer any pure-blooded ancient giants, but there's still some people who have their genetics in their family line. King Harold was apparently an ancient giant.
What's the difference between ancient giants and a regular
giant?
Well,
one of the biggest differences is that ancient giants had horns, and
Ors is an ancient dragon.
Yeah, Ors is an ancient dragon, giant. Sorry.
Oh,
and by extension, so is Ors Jr.
Is Ors Jr. alive right now?
No, he died in Marineford. He was the giant on Whitebeard's crew.
The one with the hat,
right?
That Ace made him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we finally get a look at King Harold. Actually, apparently he ripped off the horns on his head with his own hand, with his bare fucking hands, and he has these big scars on the sides of his head where his horns used to be. He says to him, ancient giants were a reminder of their era of war. So, as a show of just like putting that behind him and dedicating himself to peace, he ripped off his own horns and just seemed to really like push for peace, I guess. He has the kind of like Kratos tattoos across his face. I don't know if that's like specifically Kratos, but his design reminds me of Kratos from the God of War games.
Yeah, it does, right? A little bit.
Just an odified version of him, I suppose. But yeah, they keep going through. Apparently, there was his death was a great shock, but it was hardest on the other king of Harold, which is Hajrudin, which we know. Apparently, Hajrudin is Loki's stepbrother. They have different moms. Hajrudin was born to another woman prior to Harold's marriage, and his mom was not allowed to be queen. Because she was a giant from a different nation, which is pretty nuts.
They're half brothers.
Yeah, they're half brothers, and apparently there's multiple giant nations. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, you mean outside of Elbaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's his name? What's this guy's name? The like Robin's giant guy?
Oh, Saul?
Saul's from like a giant nation outside of Elbaf.
Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, Zoro points out to like, what? Why does that matter? You're all giants. And Roto explains, well, do you humans not wage war over land and resources as well? And Zoro's like, yeah. Yeah, we do that. You're right.
Yeah, facts.
That would be correct.
Nami says like, you have some really bigoted views about other giants and humans. And Roto's like, oh, but you're different. And she's like, don't suck up to me, scum. He's like, oh. Because I guess he's a little sub now.
Yeah.
Oh. So Zoro asks if Hajrudin's blood is tarnished, then why do you ride with his crew? And we get a little backstory, a little tiny like 3-panel flashback where Roto used to be picked on for being a little nerd in a country of warriors, and Hajrudin found one of his maps and praised him for it. And he's like, "Whoa, you draw sea charts? Can you show me how to do it? You want to be my friend?" And Roto explains that unlike him, he was a truly honest and straightforward man. And despite being unable to live in the castle with his father and seeing the way his mother was tormented, he withstood all the pain and said, "I want to unify all of giant kind." And he says, "I am the man who will be king of all giants." Which is nice. This is a nice little backstory for Hajrudin.
Yeah, it was.
And
That was cool.
yeah, and Roto's joining along to make the dream come true. So Luffy Luffy seems to have found the giants that were knocked out by our friends from the Holy Knights. And we cut over to said friends from the Holy Knights. Loki is getting beat up by Gunko, is how I learned how to pronounce her name. And she's got these big old boots that have the arrow thing that was on her sleeves, form around them. She's a giant herself, basically. And Not Shanks asks, it doesn't change our question, and Gunko is like a member of a common rabble. Receiving a chance to join the ranks of gods is a miracle that only one can dream of. And we are offering you that miracle now. And Loki starts to predict her moves before she even does them. She says, your foot's gonna accelerate to my right cheek, and after I've turned the other way, you'll give me an uppercut with that fist of yours. So super advanced observation hockey for Loki.
No, I think he's trying to say that the arrows are like like the arrows are basically blatantly telling him what she's gonna do.
But he can't see. He has the bandages.
Can he really not see?
I would figure. I mean, he has no. Unless his fruit is X-ray vision. But he's being very specific. He's like, you're
No, she's projecting that to him. I think.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that Loki is like making. I think it's her.
I guess so. Oh, it doesn't matter because she does say that like those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future, the declaration of unavoidable violence. But it is possible for me to change course. And she asked one more time, I ask you again, Loki, will you join the Holy Knights? And Loki's like, hell no. Hell no, moron. And then Gunko does immediately what she said she was going to do, kicks him in the face, and then does a cool uppercut with her arrows. And we see that all the other animals in the forest are kind of impaled by the arrows as well. So they keep torturing him, trying to get him to join the Holy Knights. And then we finally get a reveal as the hooded Shanks-esque figure unveils his hood, and we see that his name is Figurlind Shamrock, son of Saint Garling of the Five Elders, and he's the commander of the Holy Knights. He looks like
I'm
Shanks.
still calling him Shivs.
Yeah. He has long hair. It's kind of braided at the edge there. He has longer hair than Shanks, at least. And we know that Gunko already is a Holy Knight, and we know that her fruit now that has been revealed to us is the arrow fruit. And they declare that they're going to change tactics. Shamrock says that he's sick of all these useless people, and he'd hope that they could settle this much more cleanly. Gunko says like he seems to want to die rather than join us. Is this some kind of religious thing? And Shamrock explains that the vicious warriors of Elbaf who conquered the New World long ago will be brought under the command of the world government once and for all. So that's a big deal.
God, he's so evil.
So evil. That's so not like Shanks.
Shanks would never say
Shanks
that.
would never say that.
Oh my God.
He would never do that. No.
This isn't my Shanks.
Not my Shanks. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1137?
Shamrock looks like a vampire. Like,
yeah,
his aesthetic.
Nosferatu.
Right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Dracula himself, the most regal of vampires. This was a good chapter. What to say? So I think it's really interesting that finally the world government is going to launch their like attack on the giants. And it makes sense. It makes sense that they would do it now because of the king's recent passing and there, I guess, being like a power void in Elbaf. I don't know. I don't know much about Elbaf.
Power vacuum.
Really say that. Vacuum, yeah. But I don't even know if that's essentially the case. I think they have leadership. It's just that they're not active right now. They're like at their most passive at the moment. So
most unorganized.
I guess. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know enough to say that. I just know that they're not as ruthless and gully like they used to be. Like this is probably like this is them at their most peaceful, which is another way, I guess, of saying maybe most vulnerable, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Mayhaps.
So I think that it makes a lot of sense. And because I've always wondered, like, why do they just let the giants rock? Like they're five elders, you know what I'm saying? The Goro say the world government. y'all not scared of nobody, but I mean, I know there's certain things they just can't do outright because the masses of people would clearly see that as an issue and probably revolt. And Morgan wouldn't help with that either because he'll get that news out. So yeah, Loki. I mean, every time, the more and more we get to see Loki, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
What are you gonna say? Come on, say it.
I'm gonna say it. I think I gotta stop thinking in these in this box. There's really no more crewmates, right? That's it.
Oh,
Jinbei was the last
he's gonna
one.
join.
No, because it doesn't make sense for anyone to join at this point, and unless it's on like a fleet level. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I wasn't psyched about the idea of a fleet. It's so impersonal. Because I like keeping it right into just the crew and the shenanigans. But it's not about them going to each island and having little misadventures. This is the end game. Everything's coming together now. So, yes, I do think Loki is going to join up with them. And so is a whole bunch of other fucking giants. And they're going to come on their own ships. They're not going to be on the Sunny. There's not going to be a special room for Loki. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Jinbei was the last person with the room.
Yeah, no, I think Jinbei is the last full-on crew member we'll get. Official crew member of the main Straw Hat Corps.
I know Chris well enough to know that, you're only so comfortable and okay with this because you've accepted this a long time ago and kind of hedged your expectations.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, there's 10 characters on the ship. There's just not going to be enough time to give every character their due. If we get 15 people on the ship.
What's particular about your statement, man, and what I'm trying to point out is that that's a decision you're making to rationalize it that way.
You think I'm coping?
I agree. It is a cope, but
that is just a cope by people with agendas.
It kind of is a cope, but it's not really because you're not complaining. No, you're not. But it's like it's like a defensive cope.
I'm not being defensive.
It's like you're layering your
I just didn't have the same expectations. This is about what I expected. I'm satisfied.
Once upon a time, though, it wasn't like that.
What do you mean?
I think once upon a time, though, you thought, man, keep them coming. Who's not keep them coming, but who's next?
Sure, because the 10 crewmate limit hasn't been reached yet.
There's a 10-man crew limit. Is this something? Are you arbitrarily making it like?
Well, that's what Luffy said when he first set sail. That he only needs 10 people.
Well, they said you need 10 people minimum.
Well, Luffy said he only need 10, and I feel like that was Oda communicating that there's probably going to be 10 people, and then the fleet. Can I say what I think is going to happen?
What do you think is going to happen?
I think if Loki is going to join, he's going to be co-captains with Hadridan.
Yeah.
True. Or
There seems to be a tension that's going to be released.
Why did he kill his father?
We don't know.
Big deal.
We don't even know that he did that. He probably didn't. It's probably going to be sad. He probably would.
Yeah. Why you kill your dad?
And he's so prideful. He's like, I don't care what y'all believe. Yo, One Piece Cactus is really like that. Yeah,
what do I care what you think?
Rereading the series, people are really.
You could think I'm a villain all you want.
It got so popular. They it might be a little edgy to me now or whatever, or kind of slightly played, right? But back then, bro, late 90s, early 2000s, nothing else was like that. Nobody had a fucking series with a nonchalant MC like Luffy, but he was so nonchalant and still went hard. Almost to the point that it'd be making no fucking sense. But then you just learn to deal with it. I think you accept that, it's not that Luffy is this thoughtful person that has his whole ideology set. He's just going on vibes and being free.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Because Oda commits.
Yeah.
Oda commits. That was all. I don't really have any more thoughts on the actual chapter though, Brian. How blown away are you about the reveal of Figurlin Shamrock?
Oh my god, the name sucks. Not gonna lie.
Shamrock.
Yeah, the name fucking blows.
Did we do that? Did we do that though?
Shivs
It's
was
our
better,
fault, right? It was.
Yeah,
That's our fault.
Shivs and Shanks.
that would have been a good one. But instead we got Shamrock Shake, motherfucker.
Yeah, right, from McDonald's. Ooh, that's coming soon. That shit is good. Don't sleep on it,
Shakes.
y'all. That
Shamrock
mint
Shake
flavor,
Shakes.
that mint, the mint and
I never had a
and
Shamrock Shake.
vanilla. Try it. Get it small. Just get the small one. So, you know.
Honestly, the design for Shamrock looks pretty fucking sick, though. Not gonna lie, with the twos on the collar, he looks kind of dripped out.
Those are twos?
Are those twos?
Yeah,
Or are they just like fancy squiggly things?
I think they're twos. But it's a cool.
Yeah,
looking
he has
design.
ones on his legs.
You got the ones?
No, literal ones hanging down.
got the-
you see, like
Those aren't ones.
as soon as his black, as soon as like where the white pants end and the black boots rise up, you see those lines hanging. Those are ones.
Those are
So,
not ones.
good question. None of the other straw
I mean, if
hats
those are
have
twos,
met-
then those are ones. So
none of the other straw hats have met Shanks before, right?
No.
So literally,
Robin
Luffy
has.
could run up to this guy and be like, "That's Shanks,"
Robin
and then
has not.
everybody
No,
will
she
be
hasn't.
like,
no, she has not.
like
I can't.
Luffy can run up to him and be like, "That's Shanks," and then everybody will be like, "Yeah, that's Shanks because you said
Well-
that's Shanks," and then he could be like, "Yeah, I'm Shanks."
No, because Shanks has a scar on his eye and Shamrock does not.
And he's also missing an arm.
Yeah, he has both his arms.
right. Oh, right.
Yeah, there's that. That's that small detail.
And his hair's longer. But Shanks could have gotten long hair.
And he has a tiara braid
Yeah.
or whatever that shit is called.
I'm calling it a tiara braid from now on.
But aside from
Yeah,
that,
you know, like the crown. It's like a little crown. It goes
Yeah, no,
around.
I know what you mean.
That shit looks mad pretty on girls.
it does look
It's making
pretty
your
on
boy look
Shamrock.
very sweet.
Well, he's a Shamrock Shake.
He looks like quite the sweet guy.
Next chapter, he just destroys the Straw Hats in one hit.
Jesus, he better not. He better be scared of Luffy.
Gunko's Devil Fruit.
You better
looks
see
pretty
Luffy and be
cool,
like,
though.
oh shit. No thanks. Is there threes? Does he have threes on him somewhere? There's got to be more.
I don't know. I don't think those are twos. Those are
I don't think
definitely
they're
not
twos
ones.
either. I think what actually is happening right now is a sarcastic jab.
Sarcastic jab?
Jab.
Mm-hmm. Because I didn't think that those were actually twos.
The road of sarcasm strikes again. Brian, what were you saying?
It's getting harder and harder.
I was saying that the Arrow Devil Fruit is actually pretty cool. It's probably one of the. I hope it's a Paramecia because they don't get enough shine.
You know what it reminded me of?
I don't think it's a Logia.
Yeah. You know what it
His
reminded me
arrow.
of? Though? It reminded me of Medusa from Soul Eater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked
I
about
knew
that
there was
last
something
week.
familiar about that shit.
Did we? Did we say that last week?
You said that last week?
Yeah, I brought it up last week.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were right, Brahim.
You were right.
Because it really does look
Looks
just
like
like
Medusa.
Medusa. Snake,
Snake.
Cobra.
Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Cobra. What was it? Snake. Cobra.
Yeah.
But those are all my thoughts, really. It was a pretty simple chapter. What about you, Chris?
I actually picked
Wait,
this.
hold on. I have a rebuttal. Brian, do you want to be stomped out by her long boots?
No,
Okay.
that's it.
Was that it?
Yeah, it looks like that. was
Roto
it.
does, though.
Yeah, he
Roto
would.
for sure.
Roto will. Roto might
for
betray the country of Elbaf.
He might be the one.
Yo, what if they're building up his his submissive kink for when he meets Gunko, because she's like really like domineering right now. And
yeah,
She
yes.
is.
yo, this will be.
She had a line. She had a line. I'm sorry, Chris. She said, those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future. A declaration of unavoidable violence. A declaration of unavoidable violence. Oh yeah. Orodo is going to be in fucking heaven.
Yeah, he's gonna be down bad. It's gonna be
As a matter of fact, I think Gunko might actually turn coat.
yeah.
Yeah. She never probably ran into someone that enjoyed it so much like that.
'Cause I can't leave him. Our kinks align.
This is destiny.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I did pick this to be my RGC for the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I really liked it. I like the character development for Hajuden. It is a little bit of a simple chapter, and not a lot was going on. A lot of things are being developed, I guess, and set up. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like getting the backstory for some characters, for like Rodo. I didn't expect to get Rodo's backstory in this, and for it to be as heartwarming as it was. And it really was the most efficient little flashback I've seen. I mean, I don't really need more information than this even, just like, oh, that's a sweet reason for him to join. Getting the backstory, the lore on the Giants and the politics that they had, or, their like inner culture at the time is really interesting. Getting Loki to be just some guy who's not going to turn coat on Elbaf no matter what, not like he's being called this despicable, cursed person, but he's not selling them out to the Holy Knights. So that's something.
Good point. Great point. That's got to count for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already know whatever happened with him and his dad. They had a fucking fight. They had an epic war. I thought he like assassinated him or something like that. That's how they made it sound.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just what I projected.
Yeah, I mean, there's like it's a common thing in One Piece that history is somewhat distorted in the eyes of civilians and people who live on the island. So, I feel like this is just another example of that. Gunko's arrow powers are pretty cool. I'm excited to see what Shamrock can do. I wonder if Shamrock has a devil fruit of some sort. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be
that would be a really cool juxtaposition to Shanks.
Yeah, because Shanks is like, a hockey man.
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
No, it's a hockey man. There's a big fucking difference.
He's a hockey man.
Hockey man.
He said, like everyone else in the Grand Line, like there's a fucking difference.
Like,
that was funny,
like
but
everyone else
that's
in the new world.
Disingenuous. Like what the fuck he means.
A hockey man.
Like Garp is a hockey man.
A hockey man?
You mean
a hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
Okay.
I gotta watch that video again. It's been too long.
It's so fucking funny. It's still funny to this day. Is that whole debate? There's no such thing as a fucking hockey man. Someone must have listened to that sound in the anime because they literally made a hockey Susanoo.
Who made a hockey Susanoo?
In the anime, Shanks made that bird out of hockey.
Oh yeah, a hockey man.
Hockey domain expansion.
We like touch on this every 10 One Piece.
It's so funny. It's too funny. It's too
very
iconic.
necessary.
Wait a second. What if hockey is how you create devil fruits? Like if your hockey is so fucking good that you just bestow the will upon the fruit.
No, because there's a tree out there. There's trees for every fruit, it seems.
Yeah,
I
but
want to
think
see
about
one
it.
of them one day.
I think Oda has
I'd
mentioned
like to see one
before.
of them one day.
I think Oda mentioned before that devil fruits are like dreams that somebody had or something like that, right?
Well, Vegapunk has said more likely that the devil fruits, and this is a theory, he's not confirmed that this is true, but his theory is that the devil fruits are born of something someone wished they could be, or an ability someone wished they could have. And they're supposed to represent a possible evolution in the human life. So, for example, the soap power is something someone so desperately wished that they could have that it manifested somehow, some way into reality. Somebody wanted the bubble fruit. Someone wanted bubble powers to that extent.
And I'm saying that hockey is the thing that allowed it to become a devil fruit.
I don't see it.
Are you willing to take the ultimate bet?
Because there seems to be a definitive, defined way devil fruits come into existence, and hockey is not mentioned as part of that process. But I don't know
because
yet.
they don't know yet.
I mean,
It's
maybe.
like when they die and their hockey is so powerful that it refuses to die with them.
A
So
hockey
it
man?
goes-
You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
So it goes to become that. And then Shanks's devil fruit would become a devil fruit because of his hockey.
The hockey fruit.
No, he wouldn't have the hockey fruit. It would probably be like a fucking like a bird,
Okay.
like a mythical Zoan.
Yeah. Yeah, then he'd really be a hockey man.
Like think about it. Sun God Nika has a devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So the original Nika's hockey was so strong and that it got imbued into a devil fruit.
Well, Nika wasn't a person; it was a god.
Yeah, and the god was alive at one point.
You're telling me that this god had so much hockey that all gods in this world.
Dude, they literally showed Nika, not Joy Boy. They showed Nika
Rengoku
as a silhouette.
Rengoku has a Buddha fruit.
Also, gods
the
aren't
Buddha-
really gods in this series. You do like that's been the whole point of this series is that gods and don't really exist. It's just how people idolize people or how people idolize their positions and power and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like every single time somebody has been a god in One Piece, it's been a false god.
Well,
Almost
sure,
every
but
single time.
there's not like gods existing, but there's a pantheon in One Piece
I don't think there's what pantheon?
Buddha exists in the One Piece world.
Yeah, but the
Like
Buddha
for a Buddha fruit to exist, Buddha has to exist in some way, in some religious form.
But when has somebody like prayed to? Well, I know Kuma had a fucking church, but it's like religion isn't really a part of One Piece like that, is it?
No, it's not part of the overall story, but you don't have to be. But religion has to exist, presumably, in the world for religious figures to have fruits modeled after them.
Sus.
All right. Well, good argument there.
I don't know. I think
No,
I'm on
gods.
something.
I think you can have that theme of gods don't really exist, and it's just people making their way, and still have a pantheon that exists in the abstract. That there are forces that people pray to. Doesn't mean that those forces have to be real, but the forces exist in the sense that people believe in them. Like the Bible exists in One Piece because Kuma carries it around. And that means maybe not the exact Christian religion, but some kind of religion exists. Not that it's physically real, that like gods are walking among the earth, but people pray to these gods in this world.
I don't know. I feel like Nika is an exception to the case. Though.
He might be, because he is an entirely fictional god, unique to this world in this manga. But yeah, I mean, I really like this chapter. I already said why I did, and I thought it was the best chapter of the week. So